This week I wanted to share something that's coming from my life that has had quite a profound impact on me. It's earlier this week I heard that Hogan Daido Yamahata, who is the Zen master who gave me my name, that he had passed away. And it is for me always impactful when any of my teachers have died, that there's just such a sense of gratitude and the wish that they be well, that they be able to continue to support other beings in waking up. And I also at that time tend to feel a great responsibility to put into practice their teachings. So when I heard this news about Hogan-san, as he's called, that it just paused in myself to reflect on my own connection with him and the impact he had had on my life. That impact being that he always represents to me a being who really lives the essence of the Buddhist teachings, but he doesn't carry a lot of baggage with it. Or at least that was my experience of him. I first met him at a time when I was practicing a lot with Burmese Theravadan Sayadaws, and they were pretty demanding, and there was certainly a way that the practice went according to them. And then I would go and I would practice with Hogan-san. And he just had this way of helping me to come back to the wisdom that was grounded in my own being, rather than the ideas that I had about how things were. He could really bring me back out of any sense of rigidity with it, even though Zen Buddhism was often known for how it can have a sense of rigidity. But he was so beautiful in how he was. Actually, I remember he was not demanding as a teacher on a certain level, not sticking to form a lot. There was a spaciousness in how he taught. And someone said to him once, because he had studied with teachers that were very strict, and asked him why he didn't teach like that. And he said, because it isn't important. So he had such a way of walking so lightly on the planet. It was just a joy. I was fortunate to spend time with him when I would organize a sesshin for him. I would then be able to have some time where I'd just be in everyday life situations with him. And there was always lessons, from being in a shop to where he was going to buy gifts for people, and the shopkeeper said, "Oh, well, we have a day today where we are going to be doing everything just by bartering." And he looked at me and said, "What does that mean?" And so both me and the shopkeeper explained to him what that meant. He just took it to heart. The poor woman, she had a case on her hands. It was beautiful to watch because it was so playful. I mean, she could certainly find the humor in it. And she said, "You're a quick study." And then, also, I may have told this story here before because it was so impactful. I was once taking him to the airport. We arrive at the airport, he loads his bag into a cart, and he's wheeling through the airport, just like this delighted, playful kid is how it felt. And then we get up to the front of the line, and the person behind the desk looked at him and knew this is no ordinary being, and that made them uncomfortable. So they turned to me and asked me all the questions until it came to, "Did you pack your bag yourself?" Of course, they had to ask him. And so they asked him, and he's like, "Yes." And then they said, "Are you carrying any dangerous weapons?" And he goes, "No." And then he turns to me and he said, "They asked me if I was carrying any dangerous weapons, and this is the most dangerous weapon of all. Yeah, right? It's true. And there it was in the midst of this busy airport. There's a person behind the desk who didn't know what to make of anything. And did it drive home how powerful this mind is? It certainly did. So that was how I experienced a lot of his teachings. And even though I haven't spent a lot of time with him, every time someone says my name, he's there with me in a certain way. It's just somebody who, kind of fell into my life, had a profound impact, and then my life went a different direction. But yet, that bond is there. And so there is huge sadness knowing that I won't see him again in this lifetime. But there is great joy in knowing that this being I have no doubt, will continue to help living beings to awaken. And I certainly pray for him on his journey, and just feel such gratitude for having intersected with him on my path and the richness that he's brought into my life. So I felt like I just really wanted to share that. I mean, if I can't share that here, where can I share that? So I know that many of us may have lost teachers in our lives, or those who have had profound impacts, and there's just something to really acknowledge in these moments, and not to just move on to the next. So thank you for listening.